Guys, before you go into the live vlog, we'd just like to take this time to promote a book called Tales from the Pitch, or a series of books. And I was contacted by Daisy from Ransom Publishers, and they said that they're an independent publisher who specialises in literacy and books for people who don't like or struggle with reading, and they mainly sell to schools, bookshops and prisons. And they published a series of easy-to-read, fictionalised biographies of exciting footballers, and they've called it Tales from the Pitch. Now, because it's mcfcfantv, she sent me 2 copies, and this is one of the editions, which is about Raheem Sterling. So these books, I think, are really important. I obviously believe, I love reading myself, and I think literacy is really important. The age range is between 7 and 14 years of age, but if you are an older person who struggles reading, they're perfect for people with dyslexia and other things that make people struggle to read as well. They're 120 pages long, and the recommended retail price is £6.99. Now, there is Van Dijk, Gnabry, Mbappe, Rashford, Kante and Lewandowski in the series alongside Raheem Sterling. So there are other different books, whether you don't have to be a supporter of Manchester City to read them. You can read the exciting biographies, fictionalised ones about other players as well. But Daisy kindly sent me 2 copies. What we're going to do is I'm going to read one of them, and then we're going to give both of them away and to somebody who deserves it. So please, 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 all the details will be below, and you can get in touch with Ransom Publishers and order your copy online. So we wanted to do something that would assist them in pushing and promoting this book. Anyway, hope you enjoy it, and we'll let you know more about when these brilliant ideas for books and for reading become available as a prize. But anyway, Sandy from mcfcfantv, take care, and we're over to the vlog.
Hi, mate. You all right?
A little stressed, mate. A little stressed.
Good evening and welcome to mcfcfantv. Welcome to the latest instalment of the Empty Seat Show with Doom and Gloom. Sorry, Gloom is feeling a bit gloomy at the minute because somebody's camera wasn't working.
So, yeah, we had to go a little low-tech tonight, Mark. Sorry.
Well, I've always said you're better in standard definition than high def, mate. Defo.
Hey, Andy, how did your day go today visiting the extended family?
It went really well, thank you very much.
Good on you, mate.
I had a lovely day helping out my local zoo. Well, say local, it's about 40 minutes away. It's not exactly local.
No, I'm surprised I let you back out.
Yeah. Right, let's get going then. So, are you ready? To go then? Have we got all?
Come on then. Let's just get it done with me. So our guest's first name was Spurs in 2007. Their all-time favourite player is Andres Iniesta, but they're not a City fan, but they are a long-time friend of our channel.
Any ideas? Should we just bring him in rather than let him keep guessing? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring into the Empty Seat Show, like Chris says, a long-time friend of the channel, contributor for a very, very long time. I want to bring in someone who's a very, very happy bunny at the moment, Mr. Carl Blundell. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You know, Everton actually on, making me want to cry every week. We're looking pretty good, you know. And what happened yesterday was fun. How are you two?
All right, mate. Listen, before we get going on this, Cal, is professional level on FIFA a good level to be playing on?
No, that's like 5-year-old level.
Yeah, that's what I thought, mate. That's what I was thinking.
I'm professional.
You're still getting sacked as well.
It isn't professional like the third one down, second one down. World class I was on actually.
You were.
And then world class and then professional, all the way down.
So, Carl, why Everton?
Basically, my brother is an Everton fan, my oldest brother. and he works in the RAF, so I don't get to see him as much. And when I was about 3, 4, he took me to Goodison as a surprise. And I wasn't, fully into football. Like, I knew the famous players like Tim Cahill and that, but I wasn't really into football that much. And he took me, and I don't know, the blue just worked off, and I've never looked back.
Everton got off to a great start as well, Cal. Fantastic start of season. What are you hoping for after a start like this?
See, the thing is a lot of people are putting us up as top 4 contenders, but I think Europa League probably is what I want. I don't think we're ready for top 4 because we don't have the squad depth of a Liverpool, a City, or a Chelsea or a United. If we lose a James Rodriguez, we can't really replace him. So just European football, Europa League. But we've started off really well, but I don't want to get carried away. But if we had won yesterday, then we're winning Everton. If we won yesterday.
Good. I mean, go on, Gloom.
No, I was just going to say it was a big game yesterday, and I know it wasn't probably the result what we were hoping for, but 2-2 against them lot, keeps you an undefeated start to the season going. There's Carlo Ancelotti's done a great job, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think. Look, the first thing you have to do is you didn't have to come in and spend loads of money. You have to come in and get everyone on side again because, Mr. Doom over there used to make fun of me when we had Marco Silva almost every day, But Ancelotti's come in, he's got all the fans on side, which is what the last 3 have failed to do. Didn't really spend anything in January, and then he hasn't really spent big. He's brought in James Rodriguez, Alan Decore, Ben Godfrey, and Olsen, and Nkunku. Players that improve the team massively. Certainly James, and I don't know, we're just looking very good at the moment, and we're not losing. So there's nothing to cry about.
No. I mean, Carl, I do want to ask, because obviously I see a lot of City fans see Everton very similar to City in the way of you've sort of had to live in the shadow of your red neighbours, like we've had to do. You are known as the nice team in your city, shall we say? Like the arrogant lot you probably have to deal with on your side and the arrogant lot we've got on your side. What is it like? And I don't just mean this season, I'm talking in general now. What is it like being an actual Everton fan? What is it? Do you look upon it as, is it the history that you've had? Because you had a lot of success in the 80s, a lot of success under Howard Kendall, who we stole off you for a brief fling. As anyone wants to go back and look at the 125 years documentary we did on the channel, that is mentioned in there by myself about Howard Kendall having a brief fling. But yeah, tell us all about Everton and why, and what is it actually like being a Toffer?
It's fun, It's basically, I don't know. It's like obviously living here. There's so many Liverpool fans, and when you go to school, you've got Liverpool. There's no United, there's no City, there's no Chelsea. There's Everton or Liverpool. And I don't know. When I went to Goodison, there wasn't. This sounds weird, but there was no fans with no phones, no cameras, nothing. It was just atmosphere. Where them over there, you can't spot one out without an iPad or double half and half scarves and Liverpool and Man United scarves and all that crap over there. But I don't know. It's just the atmosphere, and it's like a family supporting Everton. You've got your ups and downs, and sometimes you want to cry, sometimes you want to be happy. It's fun, but yeah, onto the point about the neighbours, it is horrible having them winning everything with
Thank you, Al.
with Liverpool winning everything recently. It is tough because it's just horrible because you're lucky. I've got to go to college and half of them in my family. I've got to deal with them on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis, of them not shutting up about Liverpool winning the league, even though half of them have never been to Anfield.
But Everton are that team, aren't they, that most of their fans come from Liverpool, whereas most of Liverpool's fans come, there's a massive fan base inside Liverpool, but outside there's even more, isn't there? But as Everton, same as City are in Manchester, really, it's quite a similar sort of.
It's just horrible. Watching them win everything, it was horrible. But the season where it was only a point in it between Hughes and Liverpool, that was harder to take than last season, the one where Liverpool won by 20 points, because it was always that thought saying, if City lose one game,
Have you got a light on? Have you got a light on, Carl?
yeah.
You have.
Yeah, it was like, it was always the thought of seeing, you know, Liverpool winning the Premier League in that fashion at one point. But like last season, basically after October, you knew Liverpool were winning the league. And I think we just learned to deal with it, you know, as horrible as it is. And hopefully it never happens ever again. But we had to deal with it.
I doubt that.
Yeah. I mean, Howard Kendall, you've got Tony Cotter, you've got Joe Royal. There's a lot of sort of links and affiliation between Everton and Manchester City. If you actually look back through the years, think of other players, you know, I think, yeah, don't mention Jack Rodwell. Oh, don't mention. You know, you'll be telling me Kanchelskis next, won't you? But anyway, John's, not mentioning him either. Who's your favourite all-time Everton manager?
See, is this just talking about my lifetime?
Well, give me your lifetime and then give me who you think is as well.
For my lifetime, it's got to be Moyes on it, because I know he ratted us off and he's a horrible bastard, but you've got to say, you know, Ancelotti's been here this season. You know, Marco Silva was clueless. Martinez had no plan B, but Moyes was there for 10 years, and look, Moyes didn't even spend, like, I don't think he ever spent more than like 30 million a season or something crazy like that. And he did get us Europe a lot with a basically average side.
Moyes had an organised team, didn't he? They were, were hard to beat. You know?
Yeah, like, but I was saying when he took over as well, like, there was no tiki-taka, there was no Man City style of football. He was not like, it was so standard, but Moyes came in and he had us, every part of the team was just well done, and they knew the job, and we were compact. And then, you know, in 2013, he decided to go for the pay job and basically rat us off for you know, your horrible neighbours.
Do you think Ancelotti that's what he's brought back to Everton now, is having a bit of organisation? They look like a team where each lad knows their job in the team.
And not just that though. I think the mood has changed with Ancelotti, because when we got that takeover, we should have probably got a manager like Ancelotti the minute we got that takeover. You know, that Hollywood manager, but we didn't do it. We went out and got, you know, Ronald Koeman for some mad reason, and then we got Marco Silva. He breaks me heart every time after he watched them few games. And obviously Ancelotti's come in and he's brought superstar players with him, you know. And I know Martin thinks James has passed it, but let's be honest, who listens to Martin? James Rodriguez is one of the best players.
No. Didn't say it was past it. I said he's not Kevin De Bruyne and Lionel Messi like everyone's proclaiming it.
Yeah, but you know, we are Everton when you think of it. We can't attract players like City. We can't attract the best in the world. But
hey, mate, I've never disputed Rodriguez is a decent player.
But
I've read he's as good as De Bruyne and as good as Messi. That's where I stuck my nose in and went, not really. So only an opinion.
It was about time though that we got a manager. I think it was about time we got a manager of Ancelotti's calibre, you know, someone who's been there and done it all. And I know he was sacked from Napoli and Real Madrid, and people always bring that up, but it's like, what we need someone where we can build off in 5 years. That's what Pep's done at City. Pep went to City, he's won everything, and in 5 years, a new manager can come in at City and build off what Pep's won at City, and that's what someone can do when Ancelotti leaves.
Andy just wants to know, can you do us a favour, sit back and put a light on?
There is a light on.
There's a light on. There you go. That's better. That's better. We can see you better now. So like you just said, then you got Ancelotti. You've had Peter Reid. You've had Howard Kendall. You've had all the glory days. Do you think them glory days are they coming back to Goodison Park, or?
The problem is it depends. Like, obviously the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup are always there, but I don't think the title. I just think the expectation and the point that you've got to reach to win that title is too far. You know, City's set the bar, you know, 90 points to win the league. Like, what even is that? Like, that's like crazy to think. You've got to win like 20 games, you know, on the bounce.
Yeah.
You have done it. You won 15 games on the bounce or something to win the league. But we can't do that. We're not consistent enough, and we haven't got the squad depth of it, Man City. So, you know, I'll take an FA Cup. But Jesus, I'll take a Community Shield.
It's interesting, and I've not actually had a chance to speak with Gloom over there about this. But seeing as you're an Everton fan, and we had a Leeds fan on the other day, they were talking about they'd be quite happy, and I know Alan's on, and he was talking about quite happy getting rid of the Carabao Cup. As an Evertonian, would you be happy to get rid of a trophy that you might be in a chance of winning?
No, there's just no need to get rid of it. Not just for us, not just to benefit us, but it's like if you get rid of that competition, that's like it helps the bigger teams like you in Liverpool. You know, like what does that do? It just takes out another prestige in the country. Like it literally benefits teams like Liverpool and United, so they don't have to go with full squads in 4 or 5 different competitions. You know what I mean? We're turning into American football if we take out all the basics. That's a cup that's been around for a long time, a very long time, and so is the FA Cup. And if you take them out, then you know what I mean. Like if we take out the League Cup, all we've got to win is the FA Cup and the Prem. Like it's stupid, and let's be real. The bigger teams just go out with the full teams in the FA Cup. Like, and if it's just 2 cups, let's be real. City are just going to would win the Premier League and the FA Cup every single season, and they wouldn't be that certain shock level because in the Carabao Cup you've got, you know, look at a few years ago you had Swansea winning it and Bradford I think in the semis or the final. I don't think it's right to get rid of any competition really.
Yeah,
it's great. I think that's a great point, Gloom. Chris, I don't know what you think.
No, I agree. I mean, there's all the big picture that we had last week. How did you feel about that? You know, seeing as it's your nearest and dearest and our nearest and dearest trying to stitch it up. What are your opinions?
It doesn't surprise me. It just doesn't surprise me. Liverpool's owners and United's owners, they've wanted to turn football franchise even more than it is since the minute they got here. Do you know what I mean? And it's so stupid. Like, I don't know. I hate it. Like, taking out 2 teams in the Premier League just to have 18. And it's like, what even is that? Like, it's to stop, like, the strain of teams like us coming back in and, you know, getting that top 4 and pushing teams like Liverpool and, you know, teams like Chelsea, who I know spent a lot of money this year, but they're trying to push Liverpool. Liverpool don't want to get pushed. You know, they don't want to challenge. They just want to win the league every year and get Champions League. And they want the chances of them not getting Champions League to lower down, and it's disgusting. Like, it's disgusting. I just wish Liverpool could go to another island and just stay there forever. Honestly, like, I didn't mind them when they're not winning anything. They're all right, but when you start winning stuff, they're horrible. Yeah. They really are horrible.
Yeah, I think you're cracking Andy up today, so can you sit back again, mate?
Oh my god.
It's just so we can see your full face in the camera, that's all, mate. That's all. Right, I mean, I'm going to ask the question. In your honest opinion, because I wanted to know this, I've been dying to ask this on you for ages now. Are Everton a big club?
See, that's the problem with that is we historically, yes, but right now.
I'm asking it. I will explain in a minute.
Yeah, right now we are a sleeping giant, and as much as that pains me, you know, I'm 17. I've never seen us win a cup in my life. You know what I mean? Like, we've not really come close. We've come close twice, 3 times. We've had the highest finish in my lifetime's 4th. But we are a sleeping giant. As much as it breaks me, we are a sleeping giant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, obviously we'll always. I think we belong in the big 6. I think above Tottenham, because Tottenham haven't won a title since the 60s. My dad was born in the 60s. Do you know what I mean? My granddad was born in the 50s or the 40s. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? Like, Jesus, it's a joke, but yeah.
There's no doubt Everton are a big team. No doubt whatsoever. Look at the crowds you still get now, you know, after all these barren years. I mean, when I was growing up, mate, Everton were a fantastic team. They had some really, really good players.
Well, the reason I'm asking is, like Kex O'Neill said, silly questions. No, because I was having this debate. We talked about this on the Leeds program I did as well, and with Oscar at Leeds. And we were debating what is the definition of a big club? Is it trophies? Is it crowd base? And that's what I'm trying to gauge with people. And it comes back to this big picture that we had last week, like you said, of, well, Everton got a vote in it because of how long they were in the Premier League. That's where they came into it with nothing based on anything else. And I just find it a bit silly. what people class as a big club. That's what I'm trying to gauge. That's all it is.
But that
Wasn't
point,
really good.
that point doesn't. I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like, problem is, since the Premier League, you know, I'm honest. I'm brutally honest. Since the Premier League's been a thing, we haven't been good. We haven't won anything. So how can we be above a Leicester? And I know Leicester have been in the Championship, but they won the bloody thing. They won the title. Do you know what I mean? We haven't. You know what I mean? So, and we've had years of we've been awful in some seasons. So, do you know what I mean? We haven't really done anything for the Premier League to prove us as a big club. You know, United had 13 women titles. The Red Shite have won the league and a few cups and the Champions League. You've won about 50 Carabao Cups and 600 FA Cups and like 5 leagues. Chelsea have spent everything and just won stuff as well. You know, Arsenal have won, are invincible. So I think we haven't left a footprint in the Premier League like yourselves have. So I don't think we deserve to be in that.
Interesting.
Goodison Park.
Best stadium on earth.
Or if someone's put it into the comments, Woodian Park. Stay or go?
Go. I think you've got to, haven't you? I think we all want to stay, but
I love it. I'm with Andy on this. I love it. I love
it. I love going, but it's like we can win stuff, but the problem is we're at that stage now in football and just the way the world is where you've got to move on and go to bigger things. And, you know, if we want to attract more fans and make ourselves a big club on a world level, we've got to bring in more fans. You know,
the new stadium's is up for discussion, isn't it?
Well, we've got building planning, but we've had building plans since like 2007 for the stadium.
It looks amazing. The planning looks amazing.
I know. And it's like, the only problem with the stadium is that worries me, is we saw what happened to West Ham, where their owners were spending, not big, but we're still spending a lot of money. And then when they got the stadium, they haven't really spent that much. And that's the only thing that really worries me, is the ambition of the club lowers after we get that stadium. You know, City built up after they got that stadium. I mean, you've won, literally, besides in the Champions League, you've won everything you've been in, basically. So, I don't know. It's a tough one because we've been there for so long, but it's also, you've got to move on if you want to become one of the best clubs again. And look, we've got the financial backing to move on. And I don't know. I don't like answering that question because my heart says no, but my head says yeah.
I'm just thinking, because every time I've been, me and Andy went last year. Chris has obviously been to Goodison. It's an amazing, historic old stadium. It's one of the very few still left in the country standing. You know, it really is. But it's got the wooden seats. You're low down. The roof's nearly hitting your head. It's got the metal, girders in the middle of you, and you can't see half the pitch. You've got to strain your neck to see anything. You know, you've got the Gladys Street end bouncing. You've got everything that's going on. And are you not? Because looking like us, I mean, I don't know what Chris thinks, but since we moved to the Etihad, City Manchester Stadium, the Eastlands, whatever you want to call it, the atmosphere's died. Since Arsenal went over from Highbury and they went into the Emirates, atmosphere's died.
Highbury was always dead.
Well, yeah, I know it was Highbury, but I think you know where I'm going with this. You had the old Dell that was bouncing, and then they went to St Mary's, and it's still not bad, but it's. Are you not worried you're going to lose that atmosphere going to a new stadium? Yes, it'll look empty, great, but
like you know, and I don't want to throw shots at West Ham because I do like West Ham as a club. I think they're a good club, and you've got some decent fans. And I think the problem is, look what that stadium's done to that club. That stadium was supposed to be the future of West Ham. You know what I mean?
It's not a football stadium, though, is it? That's the problem.
I know that, but it has kind of ruined that club. Arsenal Stadium has poisoned Arsenal. It's poisoned them, and I don't want that to happen. So obviously, it's in some cases it's worked wonders for City, not with the fans, but certainly on the pitch. You know what I mean? The ambition of the club because of getting that new stadium. You could argue the best team in the last decades. You know, you've got the best manager. So. But
it's a bit more than just getting the stadium happen to us. We got, you know,
I know,
the best owners in the world, you know. So
I know, but when you've got a stadium of that, you know, like that, you can attract bigger names and bigger managers. But you know, do I really want to sell, my soul basically, because that's like been part of me my whole life, and it's just, I don't know, I don't like answering. I just don't.
You move. That's better. You keep moving back, Cal. I've been relaxing in that seat, mate. That's it. Chill out.
I think those feelings, though, Cal, are the same feelings we had when we left Main Road.
Yeah.
We all probably thought it was time to go, but we didn't want to go. And and everything that's happened since has been pretty much on the right trajectory, even. So
I think
it's
you've got that stadium, and then you got the takeover for just a little while after. Your owners came in with a plan, and they said that plan when they brought the club. They said, we're going to win everything. Basically, he bought that club to dominate football, and he's done it. Let's be real, he's really done it. Other than not win the Champions League, he's dominated English football. He's completely changed the way, with bringing in a manager, Pep, he's changed the way we think and football owners think. But again, you look at West Ham. I don't want us to turn out like that, because they're becoming toxic because of the stadium, and I just don't want it to happen to Everton. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be real. You know what I mean? Like, it's like when you get that one poor boxer or something, and they're wearing not the most expensive clothes, and they've not got that much money, and then they get all the money and all the clothes, the private jets, the cars, and they're not the same person. I just don't want that. I'd rather be 6th, 7th with Goodison Rocking than first in the league with no atmosphere.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You want to ask a question, or do you want me to go, Mr. Glue?
You go, mate. Come on.
The owner. I want to ask about the owner. What is the opinion by Everton fans of Mr. Is it Motion?
Farhad Moshiri.
Yeah, Moshiri there. There you go, Moshiri.
I bloody love him. I like him because he came in, and to be fair, he did not pick Martinez. He didn't pick Koeman. Bill Kenwright wanted Koeman, which didn't help because I don't know why we got him. But the minute Moshiri signed, Moshiri said, I want that Hollywood manager. I want that star name. And he always wanted Ancelotti. There's a video on YouTube that I saw the other day, and it's 2 years ago. We tried to get Ancelotti when he was sacked from Bayern, but the deal didn't fall apart, and then we went and got Sam Allardyce. You know what I mean? An upgrade, in my opinion. Big fat Sam. And then obviously he got sacked, and he's put hundreds of millions into the club. Absolute hundreds of millions. But I think when he first took over, he did not have a clue how to run a football club. He just didn't. And he was a billionaire, yeah, but he didn't have the clue. He didn't have the mentality to run a football club, and that's changed now. He does, and he's spending his money on the right things. He's spending it on the community, which I love, because you have to do that. He's spending it around the club. He's making the club better, and the ambition and the attitude of the club has changed since his takeover. And you look at us now. I have to think we have a player of James Rodriguez's quality, Champions League winner. So basically won everything there is to win other than the World Cup. He's been at the best club in the world, probably Real Madrid, one of the best clubs in the world, and Bayern Munich. Monaco, when they were pretty good in France. He's been in some really world-class clubs. And then when we brought in Ancelotti, my mentality changed. The way I thought of my club changed, because I don't know, people are going to debate Pep or Ancelotti, but Ancelotti has done it for 20 years. You know what I mean? The man's still one of the best managers in the world. His tactics haven't changed really that much, and he's still one of the best in the world. And that's why I love Farhad Moshiri. You know what I mean? He brought in Ancelotti, so he could do whatever he wants now, and he's brought in Ancelotti, so I'm happy with him.
I haven't seen much of Everton this season, but Alan looks a good player.
Yeah, that's something that we lacked, because I remember telling Martin last season when we lost Garner Gay that Yusuf had the same problem. That's why you struggled a lot last year and conceded a lot of goals. It wasn't really the centre backs. It was more of the CD that he's didn't have Fernandinho, the ball winner, and he's very good on the ball as well. Yeah. That's what Garner was. Garner would win the ball, and he'd always look forward. He'd win it forward. And we lost him, and we were using Fabian Delph, who played for you, but I'm sorry, but he's awful. Like, he was awful for us. Tom Davis just. But we didn't have a
But
ball.
we always want the local lads to do well, don't we? And
Yeah.
you know, they get more of a chance than the
But I
newbies,
think
don't they?
Alan, he helps because if you look at our defence, nothing's changed. Mina, Keane, Coleman, didn't you? Same defence as last year. But Alan wins the ball back, which lets everyone else, like the midfield, the more midfield players, Decore, you know, Coleman, didn't they can go forward because they don't have to worry about defending as much because of Alan. Because Alan can win everything back. And that gives everyone confidence. No, if we lose the ball, it's all right because we're going to get it back, which helps us massively, certainly on the counter-attacks against, you know, like your clubs like Brighton's and your Burnleys and your, you know, the lower sides down.
He does look a really good player. But you talk about your defence there, the man behind him, what's your thoughts on him?
Oh, it was at the time. I think he's like probably the worst goalkeeper in the Premier League. And I mean that because, like, I know your fans moan at Ederson a little bit, but Ederson is the best.
Whoa, stop. One fan moans at Ederson.
You know what? And, you know, I'd dream to have I'd sell family members to have Ederson at Everton. You know what I mean? That's how desperate we are with this keeper. You know what I mean? When someone shoots and you pick the ball up and then drop it in front of them, that's not good. We can't be doing that. You know what I mean? He's making mistakes against like Bulgarians and teams who've got like shopkeepers as forwards. And it's like he does it for England. He's done it for England, and then for us, like he's giving balls to like I don't know. We just can't win with him. Like I'm not confident that we can get top 4 with a goalkeeper, or even Europe sometimes with a goalkeeper like Pickford.
I think that's what you're missing as a keeper. And probably, I don't mean this bad on Calvert-Lewin, but a top-class striker. And I think Everton would be a fantastic team. A really difficult team to beat with a new keeper and new striker.
Look, it's Pickford.
I don't know what you think, Martin. You were quite critical yesterday, weren't you, of their performance?
I was critical of their behaviour yesterday. I thought it was a little bit naughty what they went out and did. And Carlo, no, I mean, it's not just, they reminded me of what they did to us at the Etihad when they kept wanting to kick, chop us and everything else. With what Carl's saying, you're saying, they've got quality in the team. You don't need to do that. You don't.
Sometimes. Problem is, lad,
it's a derby. Yeah, exactly.
No, I appreciate that, but they should have been.
Hang on a minute. Hang on, Martin. What did you say about our 2 derbies last year against United?
Oh, yeah, there was no passion.
Exactly. So
hang on. There's passion, and then there's chopping someone out for 8 months. There's a big difference.
Yeah, but there was no intent.
I didn't mean to.
He was going for the ball, and I know Liverpool fans.
What? Sorry. What?
But if you watch he goes for the ball, he just lands that on him.
Scissor kick anyone.
It happened.
Oh, get out.
It's a derby, lad. It's a derby. No, Martin, lad, it's a derby. Do you know what I mean? It is a derby at the end of the day. There's going to be bad tackles. It's football. You know,
it's a derby. His leg. It's all right. It's a derby. It's a derby, though.
No, but the problem is if this was 20 years ago, 15 years ago, Jordan Pickford would be all over Sky Sports. He'd be all over the media, getting called amazing. Just like Roy Keane. Look at Roy Keane. As much as he's horrible as a pundit, as a player, he was rough. He'd get into players.
Ivor's comment, I think he ducks into it.
Look, it happened. And I hope Van Dijk has the speedy. I hope he's back, you know what I mean, as quickly as possible. Hopefully Liverpool aren't doing anything by that point. But when he does come back, I hope he does come back. I hope he wasn't seriously hurt. But it's football. What do you expect? Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, some of these people on here. Sorry,
you are a big softy, Martin.
I'm not. Let's tell you what. Here's a question to you, Alan. If that had happened at the Etihad yesterday, you'd have all been baying for blood. So don't sit there and go to me. Oh, it's a derby. Good strong tackle. That. If that was at the Etihad and that was on Laporte or Diaz from De Gea, you'd have been going absolutely spare every single one of you. So don't give me the crap right now.
De Gea's got it in him.
You've got to think, lad, is when you got to think as well. The media are showing because they love Liverpool. We all know that. Do you know what I mean? With the playlists on YouTube and the DVDs. Where was the footage of Andy Robertson kicking Allen? Where was the footage of Sadio Mane just before the Richarlison red card of Sadio Mane booting Yeremina in the back of the leg? Where was the footage of Trent Alexander-Arnold slapping Calvert-Lewin in the face? That was nowhere to be seen.
Listen, one thing I would say, and Chris is spot on. Last year at the Derby, there was none of that. I'm not saying don't have the passion and don't go in for an hard challenge. There was an hard challenge than there was yesterday. There's a slight difference. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you could have been. But saying that, Mane was a bit naughty with his little kick out as well. There was a few challenges going on there that I thought, you know, were a bit naughty. But listen, football's gone mad, which we'll get onto later on. I don't want to go into this big debate, but I will talk about something because what I've read today is just madness. Pure madness. Football.
What's that?
What's what?
What did you read today?
I don't know what Carl. We'll talk about that near the end.
Okay.
Carl, let's move on to more recent things, shall we then? So, like Chris has said, you bought very, very well in the transfer market.
Yeah.
You said your expectations are real, like you're thinking top 6. Could you do a Leicester with what you're doing right now? With the way the season is, it's silly season. People wanted to get results we're not expecting. Could you be the new Leicester City?
No. It's
Why?
the reason it's like this, like at the moment, is because look, we were very fortunate coming off coronavirus, where City have had like, what is it? I think you've had a lot of players injured, and have had COVID, and that's affected you. Not me. I think 2 players have tested positive at Everton, and that's one. It was Moise Keane, who doesn't play anyway, and he's gone. And I can't remember the other one to say for my life, and we haven't had any serious injuries. You know what I mean? Like the players that are making everything work, the James Rodriguez, they're playing amazing. But you've got to think, when James Rodriguez isn't as consistent as he's been, the mentality will change, and we will start picking up defeats, and it will happen. And I think when City get up to full speed and get the players back, like when De Bruyne comes back and more players come back, when Chelsea start fully playing, same as Liverpool, I think that's when the big boys will start picking up. We're not good enough. We're not consistent enough to get the title.
I think that year that Leicester won the league is that all the big teams didn't really get any momentum going, and Leicester managed to play counter-attacking football. Everyone fell for it, and they had a consistent sort of 14 players who were available every week. You know,
exactly, that was the difference.
And I think you have got a similar sort of team. You know, you've got probably a decent amount of players, but COVID's going to have an effect where you're going to have players going out for a couple of weeks. So I think it will be difficult for Everton to win the league.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
what I have a feeling one of our big players will leave. I don't know if it's going to be January, but I do have a feeling Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin will leave. And as much as it will make me cry, I do have a feeling one of them 2 will leave.
Why?
Just because, let's be real, but Barcelona was sniffing at Richarlison, and I mean really sniffing at Richarlison. And I know you're rolling your eyes. I'm not saying he's good enough for Barcelona. Like, don't get me twisted. I don't think he is. I don't think he's at that level. But they were at him a lot last year. And if Barcelona get him, then if they put a bid in, you've got to accept. I do think he'll leave because, let's be real, he's a player that could cut it. I think at a top side in the Prem, like a Tottenham, a United, a Chelsea. I think he could do it there.
What about Lucas? Yeah.
That's left back in the world, but he'd never leave.
Well, I'm just thinking, could he be going out in January?
See, what I've heard is, I don't think City are looking for a left back because you've got Mendy and Zinchenko. So I don't think he'll go for Digne. I think you'd have to get rid of one of them left backs to go after him. Chelsea have just spent 50 million so well. We're never spending to the red shite ever. That's never happening. We're never selling anyone to the red shite ever again. United don't need a left back because they've just bought Telles. The only way I see Digne leaving is if he goes to abroad, to like a PSG, back to PSG or back to Barcelona. It's the only way I see him leaving. I don't think he'll leave.
Yeah, I think we haven't got a left back though, Cal. That's right. We've got Mendy, and that's it. I don't think Zinchenko's a left back.
I think if Pep was going to buy a left back, he would have brought one. He would have bought one, or if the club was going to buy a left back, he would have bought one this window. Because you went out and you got your centre back, which was crucial because you needed two centre back.
You couldn't buy one because they needed to get one out.
Yeah,
you got Angelino out, didn't you? Back to Leipzig.
They needed to get Zinchenko out.
Yeah, and I think you could have bought one, and Chelsea could have went for him in the summer. Chelsea could have really went for him in the summer, but they chose Chilwell because let's be real, Digne is way. If Chilwell's going for 50 mil, Digne's 70, 80 million. If Chilwell's 50 million, Digne's, I don't know.
Post-COVID?
Well, Chilwell's after COVID, and he went for 50 million.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, when we wanted Chilwell, before COVID, it was 80 million. Post-COVID, he's down to 50.
That's what I'm saying, though. You know what I mean? Before lockdown, Jesus, if Chilwell's worth 80 million, Digne's worth £1 billion, mate, because Chilwell's crap compared to Lucas. No one's on his level. He's the best left back in the world. Call me deluded, but I watch him week in, week out. I know how good
he's very good.
Is. You know what I mean? He can defend, he can attack. His balls are phenomenal. I'd love to see his balls, but you know what I mean? The balls he puts into the box are phenomenal. He's world class. He's the best. Don't doubt me, Martin. I know I'm talking about. He's the best. Right, you stick to losing on professional, and I'll stick to watching Digne.
You deserve it, mate.
Don't compare Ben Chilwell to Lucas. Chilwell's not better than Mendy. So I was going to get in over Digne.
I'm just thinking for Digne's career to go and play for a challenge for trophies and get a proper top career going.
So, have you watched much of City this season, Cal?
I watch every game. I always watch City because your football's amazing, so I always watch it.
And what do you think of this Ruben Diaz?
He's good. Very good. Very, very good. If you had him last year, maybe, I don't know if he would have won the league, but the gap would have been a lot shorter. Because he doesn't make mistakes like Stones. Because Stones makes very...
I've got to say, it's only a couple of games in, but he has impressed me. I don't know about you, Martin, but...
he's always impressed me.
He looks really good.
Always impressed me. Cal was the one who said he was second-rate centre-back and weren't very good, and he's in Benfica.
I've never said he wasn't very good. I've just, when people compare him to Koulibaly, Diaz has the potential to be world-class. Koulibaly is at the elite level in football. Let's be real, there's 3 world-class centre-backs in my opinion. Well, no, 3 elite centre-backs. Virgil van Dijk, Koulibaly and Sergio Ramos. Laporte is just below that. Because we only really seen Laporte for what he was out the whole of last year with a bad injury. The season before, I think he was up and down with injuries, and then his first half of the season, I think he played left back. Majority of that whole when he came in his first year, I think he was City's left back and centre back. I think Van Dijk went to Liverpool and completely changed it. As much as I hate him, he is a muppet, and Liverpool are horrible, but he has been class. Ramos has been doing it for Ramos has been unbelievable for 56 years. I mean, he's been there forever.
Don't like him.
He is class though, and you can't deny how good he is.
You don't like him because of his attitude?
No, I just don't rate him. Honestly, don't rate Ramos that much.
Look, lads, he's been the best though. You got to think, lad, he's been there for 20 years, and he's been crucial for so many of their wins. Look,
don't get me wrong.
Last year.
He has good. I just don't think he's right at the top class, mate. But that's just my opinion.
I think he's up there, but I think Diaz will get up there because Diaz looked like the change is already there. Because last season, even when you played us, your defending is terrible without Company. It was awful last season. I know Company didn't play as much, but it's the impact of what he has on the team. A lot like Jagielka for us. And I'm not comparing Jagielka and Company.
No.
Company's levels better, a million levels better. But Jagielka brought a presence, and that's what Company brought, a presence to the City changing room. And when he left, there was no one. Because let's be honest, David Silva I think he was captain, wasn't he? That was terrible. I don't know why Pep did that, because he was going the season after. That wasn't a very smart decision. Fernandinho was on limited time.
I think that was club captain when it rather on the pitch.
I think the players have a say, don't they?
I thought Pep would have made him captain, but I don't think Fernandinho's the right captain because he's on limited time. I think Ruben Diaz is a player who can be the captain of Man City. I think he was good for Benfica. He didn't set the world alight. He was good. He's very good for Portugal, but he's coming to the Premier League, and you're already everyone around him. He's made people around him look better. Defenders look better, and the main problem I had was I thought Otamendi was too slow. He couldn't get the ball out as fast as Laporte. That was the main problem last season. I thought for City, he's weren't as fast on the counter attack or with the short passes that your centre backs can do to the midfielders or the full backs. Diaz can do that very quickly, and he's got a good ball on him.
I got to say that I'm impressed with him and Ake so far. I think they both seem to.
I think that he's very good, but that was a weird sign. 40 mil blew my mind. I'm not dissing him. I think he's a great player, but I thought that the price shocked me. The price really shocked me.
I'll give you that. That is quite a high price, but I think, and I've said this ever since he's come along, I think he'll be a good sign of City. I think he'll fill in gaps that we've got.
I think it was very weird when City didn't buy a centre back when you lost him. Just one of you lost probably you could argue one of your best captains ever. You know what I mean? If not the best for what he's achieved in such a short amount of time, and then you lose him, and you just didn't replace him. And I know people say Otamendi didn't go, but a club of your stature, a club of what you can do, you can bring a centre back in. You know what I mean?
Carl, I think it was to do with foreign numbers.
Oh, was it?
It was to do. I think we were at the limit to how many foreign players we could bring in.
You could have brought in an English centre back.
They were going to have to drop out.
I thought it was very, very silly from the board to not.
I'm with you, Cal.
You've got to replace him, even if it's with a player who's young, even if it's with a 21-year-old.
Can I just... Sorry, go on. I'm just going to tell about this. You said about Aki 40 million is a lot of money. I don't think in this day and age it is a lot of money.
What, post-COVID?
No, not when you've just had a guy from, what was it, Brentford went for 28 million out the Championship.
But the thing is, you look at what I mean is for a player who, let's be real, last season, his team was terrible. Bournemouth were awful defensively.
Yeah.
And the season before. And what I mean is, you probably could have gone for a bit cheaper. You know what I mean? I think 25 mil would have been or 20 mil would have been a very good start. 40 mil for someone who just got relegated. I know I can't talk because my club paid 50 million for Gylfi Sigurdsson. And you know what I mean? That tortures me. Like that tortures me. But that's because we're stupid. You aren't, you make good signs. We don't, we're stupid. But Nathan Ake, 40 mil, it shook me. I'm not saying it was bad, I'm not saying it was good. I'm saying it's price.
Versatile, ready made, still young, Premier League experience.
Yeah, I get that, but 40 million, you know what I mean? 40 million pounds for, and how much did you get Ruben Diaz for? 60 million?
64.4 or something.
So you're telling me Diaz is only 20 million more. The quality of Ruben Diaz is only 20 million more than Nathan Ake.
I mean, I've got to be honest, I thought Ake and Diaz were our two best players yesterday.
Yeah, I think Ake's class. I don't think he's class, but I think he's a very good centre-back. He's a very good player. But 40 million, and Gabriel Magalhaes, who's just went to Arsenal for 22 million, he's a very good centre-back. And if he's gone for 22, and Ake's gone for 40.
I think Ake, that he had a clause in his contract, didn't he, with Chelsea to buy him back at, I think it was 40 million on it. I think we just paid the price for him, mate. I'm not sure if that is the reason behind it.
You have the budget to do it. That's one of the positives. You have the budget to spend. You could waste so much money. You've got the big bucks to do it. And I think the reason why I was so shocked when you got Diaz, I didn't think when the Koulibaly links ended, I thought City, I'm going to go and get a centre back here, another centre back, because a player of Koulibaly's name, I think he was so committed to get Koulibaly. And when the deal fell through, I just thought no more. But then when you bought Diaz, that shook me. That's a great sign. Diaz is amazing. But Ake, I think he'll be good, but can you really say 40 million for someone who's just been relegated by Bournemouth is a great deal?
I think that's a fair comment. It's not a great deal, is it? In terms of we haven't got him at a snip. We have paid top whack for him, I think. But like I've said all along, I think he will prove to be a very astute signing for City.
Yeah.
So any players you see within the City squad, you think I'm not sure why he plays for Man City.
Gundogan. I'm going to break Andy's heart. And don't batter me, Andy, but definitely Gundogan. I just don't think Gundogan's... I don't know, he's very mistake prone. John Stones is another. Like, I know John Stones. I know... What'd you say?
Do you want him back?
Absolutely not. I know what he's like. Trust me, when John Stones is playing at his best, I know how good he can be. But when he's at his worst, I know what he's like. John Stones can have he'll have 2 good games, 2 exceptional games, but then he'll go on a stint where he'll have 6, 7 bad games. And his mistakes are so obvious. They're so obvious, his mistakes. And the difference is, maybe for us, it's not all right, and no player should ever make mistakes, but it happens, and sometimes you just got to accept it. But at a club like Man City, you're too big of a club for a player to maybe making 5, 6 mistakes. That can't be happening at a club of City where you want to win everything. And you can't have a player who makes so many mistakes as a starter or even as a backup player. I don't know. Because I know what he's like. The thing is, I don't really know what Nathan Ake's like because I've not really watched him as much as I've watched John Stones. I know what Stones is like. He's very mistake prone and he does have a lot of mistakes in him. And his legs have seemed to have gone. He looks a lot slower than he was. And I realised he was a pretty quick player. But I think there's a lot of hype around him. Roger, did you just say?
So much potential. It reminds me of Jack Rodwell. So much potential, and injuries just like they're going to cripple his career.
I think John Stones as well. I think the problem with him is he was a centre back at Everton. And if you look at our centre backs, we had this Dan who was shocking. He was shit. In his last few years for us, he was terrible.
Get him off.
We had because he was. I know he was class for us, but then his legs went.
They had him when he was old.
We had him. He was like 73 when in that last season. You know what I mean? We had Funes Mori, who was just like he was just inconsistent. Phil Jagielka was old, so he wasn't really against any other class centre back. Jagielka was old, and in the games he was getting beaten with pace. So he didn't really have a centre back that if he makes a mistake, people can go, oh well, these aren't making mistakes. These were. Where at City you've got Laporte. If Laporte very rarely makes a mistake. Company was there when Stones was, Stones was there as well. Company and Stones have played together. You can't make a mistake against Vincent Company. Even Otamendi, Stones. I know Otamendi makes a few, but these are different centre backs to what we had. You know what I mean? The expectation of what you've got to do at City is different.
Yeah,
definitely.
I like Stones. Absolutely. I like Stones. I think Stones' level is at Everton, at Arsenal. It's not a Man City level. He was built up with so much hype, a bit like Harry Maguire. And I'm not dissing Harry Maguire. United fans, don't kill me, but I didn't think Harry Maguire was a world-class centre back. Do you know what I mean? I didn't think he was better than Soyuncu or Johnny Evans. I really don't. And they paid 80 million for Harry Maguire. You paid 50 million for John Stones or 45, whatever it was. You were robbed for John Stones, and United were, they were robbed badly for Harry Maguire. But English centre backs are so overhyped. That's the problem because we don't really have that many good ones anymore. We used to have Ferdinand, Terry, and we did when they went, we didn't really have many. So the first centre back that came along was pretty decent and built up to the image. I didn't play for a Brighton or a boring club. The media loved them. They loved John Stones. Like they were making out John Stones was Sergio Ramos and Beckenbauer. If you watch if you hear John Stones, you didn't watch football. You'd think John Stones is the best centre back in the world when he played for us, but he's not. He's an average player. He's an Arsenal and Everton player. He's not a Man City level. I just don't think he's City level.
You are breaking Christopher's heart up there.
Sorry, Chris.
It's all right, mate. It's opinions, isn't it? It's opinions. I do agree with you.
You'd slate me for that.
Slate you all. Listen, I think Stones has got it, mate. I do think he's got it in him to be a player, but I think his problems probably lie up here. He probably is. I think now with Diaz and Laporte and Ake all showing that they don't even look like making mistakes. I'm sure they will, but I think it's going to be very difficult for Stones to get into the team. I think you're right.
Certainly, who's the young centre back for City? I always forget his name. Not Eric Garcia. The yeah, him. Certainly him. That's a tough one as well because he's local to City. He's local, so that doesn't help Stones' case. The Champions League game was the game I realised Stones has done at City. He's done because it's a game against Lyon. He's playing a kid that has come out and said he wanted to leave the club. Eric Garcia wanted to leave Manchester City. And the difference is, Sané, like Martin has an agenda against Sané. Sané didn't come out and say, Jesus, Sané didn't come out and say, I want to leave City. Eric Garcia, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that Eric Garcia wanted to go. And then Pep played him in the Champions League final over John Stones. John Stones' confidence was already small. Jesus, he's the kid who's, you know what I mean? He's getting bullied right now by everyone. John Stones he's gone. His confidence is zero. You know what I mean? Like, he played for Everton, so his confidence isn't very high. But then he went to City, and when you're getting benched for a player who doesn't want to be there.
Can I ask you a question now, Martin, if you don't mind? Because this is my no about Sané. Martin's a bit of a Mahrez lover, and I'm a bit on the opposite side of it. How do you see Mahrez, Cal, from an outsider?
I think, the thing is, I've had him at Everton, but again, I've had most City players at Everton. But I think he's not on a Sterling level or a Sané level. He's not that good, but I think he's a player that can have one good game and then go quiet and then have a few good games. You can't have that at City. Like I said, the ambition and the expectations too high for an inconsistent player like they had Mahrez. I get he doesn't play in the position he played at Leicester, but you've got to adapt. You know what I mean? If you're playing for a manager like Pep Guardiola, you have to adapt and you have to play in that position. I think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I think Mahrez technically is incredible. I think he's phenomenal. But I don't think he's a Man City level. I think if Pep wasn't the manager, he might work. The problem is Pep's system doesn't suit Mahrez, and Pep's not going to change his system for one player. He doesn't do it. He didn't do it for Messi. He's not going to do it.
Sorry, before I have got a question, but just go back to your little Sané thing. Sané did kind of say what out the door, Cal, but we'll move over that one.
Oh, just say I'm right.
No, he only got offered a contract for 2 years and turned him down every single time, but clearly wanted to stay, mate. Anyway, swiftly moving on. I wanted to talk about yesterday's result because me and Andy talked about this last night, and I wanted to get your point of view. Obviously, not being a City fan. City won 1-0, and all I've heard all day is it was very it wasn't sort of the City way. It wasn't flowing football. It wasn't, the 4 or 5-0. From an outsider's point of view, what did you think of yesterday's game? Because I thought, right, defensively, we've moaned about how crap we are defensively for 18 months. And then we put in a performance like that, and everyone's still moaning.
The way I look at it is, supposedly the best Premier League team ever is Manchester United. If you look at it, they didn't have a lot of 6-0, 7-0 wins. They would have a lot of 1-0, 2-1. They'd have the occasional big win, but they'd win a lot of games by less goals. A lot like Liverpool last year. You last year played the best football. There's no doubt about that. Your football is the best in the world. There's no doubt about that. But sometimes you have to keep it simple. And last year, for the resources you had, with a lot of players out, a lot of important players out, because you had to have a lot of injuries, you just couldn't play you couldn't play fast flowing football, but you were doing it anyway. And that's what cost you in a lot of games. You weren't keeping it simple. Like the Wolves game, Mendy thought he was the strongest man in the world, thinking he could hold off Adama Traore. No, you know what I mean? That wasn't happening. But yesterday, you were compact, you were composed, you didn't make mistakes, you weren't going for stupid passes or doing stupid things. You were very calm, very simple, quick. You were quick with the ball. You didn't try and hold on in the defence. You got the ball out quick to the midfielders. And I thought Foden ran the show yesterday. I know he's got a lot of stick on Twitter, but I thought Foden was dragging away. Foden was dragging away the Arsenal players and creating space for the other City players, which is crucial. Do you know what I mean? Roberto Firmino gets called the best player in the world for doing that. So,
see, that's a difference of opinion because I thought it wasn't good. I
thought it was off ball because players can be terrible on the ball, but sometimes what they can do off the ball to benefit the other players is crucial. You know what I mean? He's 18, 19, and he was, a player of his age shouldn't be doing that. He's doing things that a 26-year-old, an experienced midfielder's doing at such a young age. And I thought it was a good performance. You know what I mean? He didn't set the world alight. It wasn't exciting. I would have rather watched the derby if I wasn't an Everton fan. I would, if I was a Tottenham fan or a Chelsea fan or a Brighton fan, I would have wanted to watch the derby. But it doesn't really matter what I think. You know what I mean? I'm just some fat idiot who sat on a chair compared to, you know what I mean? He's won the game. He's played well. Do you know what I mean? There's no need to play, to beat them 6-0 because you can win games 6-0 but not win the league. That's it. That's it.
It's all opinion.
Did you not think he had a good game yesterday, Martin?
I thought he was wasted. I think he's been wasted out on the wing, and as I told Andy, with no KDB, David Silva's left. That was his game to go back into the David Silva role and do it yesterday. And he just was. I thought he was wasted out on the wing. But I'm of the opinion. I mean, I said it yesterday. Andy made this point last month. If we want to view him as a first-team player, we've got to judge him as a first-team player now. We can't judge him as a young lad who's scraping his way through the academy anymore. If he wants to play with the big boys, we've got to judge him as a big boy. And that's the way we've got to do it. My only issue with Foden is his performances, in my opinion, have not been great since all the stuff that's happened off the field. I think the lad needs to get a little bit in his head straight again. I went on to
got a bad attitude, Mark.
No, not about attitude. Not that. I went on Talking Balls with Natalie and Gaz Drinkwater, is it? On Radio Manchester, and I said my big thing with Foden is he needs to keep his feet on the ground. That's what my biggest worry was. Keep his
Where else would you keep him?
Be in the middle of your feet, in your face in a minute. My issues, and then what's come out, and I just want him to just let him play, let him enjoy it. Let's not.
He was enjoying something, in Iceland.
Pardon?
Said he was enjoying something, wasn't he, when he was in Iceland?
And then he sent in other messages to other women. Stop it!
Martin.
Stop it!
I thought he had a decent game actually yesterday. I thought he was all over the pitch, and I think certain other players could put in that kind of effort. They wouldn't get criticised quite as much. I tell you, it was good to see come back yesterday was Bernardo. He looked a bit more like his old self yesterday.
Yeah. I thought what was good about City was a lot of the time we see it with Leicester. And again, I'm not comparing Leicester to City. I'm just using an example. Leicester don't have a plan B, and they can win games. We saw it. They beat Southampton 9-1 or 9-0, and they don't have a plan B. Pep Guardiola's teams, a lot of the times, he doesn't if you can tell from City how you're playing in the first 10 minutes. You're out there and you're going at team, you're going to win. But if a lot like the Leicester game, I looked at the Leeds game, I thought that was a perfect example. It was a very up and down game. If you dominate in the first 10 minutes where no one's getting on the ball, you're just prime City, you're going to win the game. Yesterday, there wasn't really a star moment. The Edison ball to Sterling was phenomenal. But I thought it was a good game. It was a compact and composed game, which last season you were not composed a lot of the time. You were very poor, and I think you went 2-0 up against Newcastle, 2-1 up, and you drew the game. You battered Wolves and then lost the game. I think you just played well. You played smart. It was a plan B yesterday.
I think Arsenal have got a much better team under Arteta,
exactly.
For me anyway. But they didn't really create much, and what they did create, Eddie stopped, didn't he? But
exactly, it's the same team that beat you.
Yeah.
A month ago, 2 months ago, and you lost a lot of star players. You haven't got your best player in Kevin De Bruyne, playing who dictates literally everything that happens on the pitch. You know what I mean? You had a few young players on, Foden, a few players maybe out of position, and you were just clever. And I mean, I think if you asked your fans what you'd rather have, a lot of 6-0 wins but not win the title, or 1-0 wins, 2-0 wins and win the title, they'd pick the 1-0 and 2-0 wins. That's a champion's performance. We just don't always play amazing, but you get the win. Against Wolves, you were amazing in the first half. Second half, they came back at you and they tested your defence, and you won the game. The Leicester game was a shock one. and Leeds was a phenomenal game of football. That was an exceptional game of football. Two attacking sides that wanted to get a victory. Just good defence, good midfield, and good attack. But that was champions' performance yesterday. Liverpool, they had a lot of championship winning performances. The one where they 1-0 up, the one against Sheffield, they won 2-1, but they win the game. Not by a lot, but they win it. That's all that matters. 3 points, and you got the 3 points.
Well, yeah. Comments because Andy's saying I'm talking out my ass. Hey, I said, from someone who goes home and away, that's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. And I don't. It's an opinion.
Oh, Martin.
Human.
That's all I'm going to say on that one. You know, right? Anyway, Chris, you want to finish on?
No, I'm just going to just on the season as it started. We've seen some abnormal sort of games, haven't we? We've seen like today, West Ham coming back from 3-0 down to draw. Last 10 minutes and get 3-0. Do you think it'll settle down this season, or do you think this is what we've got because there's no crowds? Do you think it is going to be a bit strange?
I think the lower teams are going to be seriously affected with no fans. And I think that's the problem. Like the Fulham, I know Fulham, they always come up and then end up going down. I like Fulham. I don't think anyone can have a problem with Fulham. They're just there. But I think not having fans will affect that. When you 1-0 down in the last 10 minutes, you want to try and get it back. That's going to be a problem for the teams that are trying to stay up. But City that good don't need. You've got the best players in the world. So, in some positions, you don't really need fans. Obviously they help, but I think these are good enough just to have without an atmosphere. You know what I mean? Because I think people tried to say the Leicester game, if you had fans, you wouldn't have. Let's be honest, the fans had nothing to do with that. It was, you know what I mean? Your players turned into assassins and just gave away 3 penalties.
Unbelievable.
Crazy season, though. I mean, look at Spurs 3-0 up. And of all the teams, West Ham have come back in the last day.
Typical Spurs, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Spurs are shite. That's
I know, Cal, but they won 6-1 at United the other week. And then they were 3-0 down with 8 minutes to go.
See, that happens in football, though. That's a football thing.
I don't think this is crazy.
Look at Villa. 100% Villa.
I'm not denying at the moment COVID is playing a thing, but in 3 months' time, I don't think it will, because fans teams will get used to what it's like in 3 months by then. Do you know what I mean? I think in 3 months, the top 4 would be Liverpool, Chelsea, City, and United or Arsenal, something like that, or maybe Tottenham. I know I hate United, but you know what I mean? They end up finishing there somehow every season. They just end up doing it.
I mean, I just think it's going to be a crazy. I mean, right now, Everton are top, Villa are second. It's just
it's like 1980s.
Yeah, this is like total madness right now. Guys, whoever sat there going #Martin out and blah blah blah, guys.
Second.
Listen, I can disappear and never come back.
Nah, don't do that, lad.
Up to you. Listen, you all want me out, I'll go out. I'm not,
I think
guys in the comments.
Something that I look at the moment is City. I was saying this to my friends and that. City at the moment, you look at it, he's had like 3 weeks of rest. He didn't have that long of a rest. Do you know what I mean? You played the Champions League. And then, players had to play in the international duty, which was stupid. That shouldn't be happening. Certainly, who's idiots that got a plan to, send people abroad while we've got a virus on. I don't know who's deciding to do that. But you know what I mean? But I think you look at Liverpool, they haven't had a big gap. They haven't had a big break. United, they had 2 weeks of a break. You know what I mean? The big teams haven't had a big break because of, European commitments. Actually, Liverpool didn't get in Europe. It didn't get far. Used it though, Chelsea. I'm pretty sure Tottenham play after lockdown.
I
can't remember.
I can't remember.
But certainly, you did. Wolves did. Wolves have been affected by the fitness issues. That's clear. Because, they play the same 11 basically every single week. They don't rotate. They play Adama Traore, Jimenez basically every single week. Nothing changes. So they've been affected by it. We haven't. You know what I mean? You look at it, none of our players, even in the players that we let go, James wasn't playing for Madrid. Napoli, I don't think Alan played for Napoli. in the Champions League. I think they dropped them. So Corey played for Watford, you know what I mean, who went down. Thank the Lord. So all the players, Ben Godfrey was at Norwich, he went down. Olsen don't even know who he is. We've just bought him for the fun of it because Pickford's crap. You know what I mean? So we've been lucky. We've not really had any big injuries. We've been very lucky. Where you have been so unlucky with injuries and, you know, transfer confusion, and there's a lot of things in place. But in 3 months, but in 3 months, where you're fine. In 3 months, you're fine. You'll be fine because all your players will be fit again. You'll be playing at that top level. We'll have some players injured. We'll be typical Everton, where we'll be getting beat by everybody. You know what I mean? Getting beat 3-1 by Burnley.
I think you're selling yourself short there, mate. I mean, all jokes aside, and like I did say to when you won't win the league, I do think you could make top 6.
I know what it's like. That's the problem. The Everton in me, we could win 5. This is how horrifying it's been for me.
You are where me and Chris and Andy and everyone else here, you are where we were 8-9 years ago.
I know, but
going, top 10 will be all right, top 6. And we're still joking now, going, oh, let's get to 40 points. We're happy.
Yeah.
You never don't ever lose it. Do not lose that sense of humour, because if you lose that sense of humour, you will lose made you in Everton.
It's not humour. That's my honest worry.
It wasn't with us, Ray. It wasn't with us at one point.
Because I know what we're like. Like, we were 2-0 up last year with 12 seconds to go against Newcastle and didn't win the game.
It's like a time machine of us 10 years.
How can I tell my younger family members, that we were 2-0 up with like 12 seconds to go and didn't win the game? That's not. How can that happen? So I know what we're like. We did it under Mark. To be fair, we don't normally start off very well. We always start off pretty poor. The problem is, you know what we're like. Once that one loss comes, then comes another. We don't really. It's always happened with us. But I'm hoping with Ancelotti, the mentality is different at the moment, because Marco Silva did not win one game last year. In a year and a half at Everton, didn't win a game coming back from behind. Ancelotti's won, I think, something like 7, and we went behind against the champions. Do you know what I mean? The biscuit champions, the everything. You know what I mean? They've won everything. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The cornflake champions. And we came back, you know what I mean, twice. And, you know, Jordan Henderson scored the greatest goal of all time. Do you know what I mean? But it was ruled out. Which I love. And Mr. Crybaby Klopp on the sidelines giving it all. Ooh, they changed the lines. No, you know what I mean? You didn't. I love VAR now. I love it. Everything I've said about VAR, I take back. I have to take it back.
It's just, you know what I've noticed about VAR? Fans love it in the week it goes for you, and then the week after when it doesn't, it's the worst thing ever.
Well, this is a different situation, Martin. This is the most unbearable fan base on the planet. And if we let this sink in, if we had lost again in the last minute to Jordan Henderson, this is a player who's the most overrated footballer I've ever witnessed in my life. Do you know what I mean?
Right, player of the year.
Oh, lad, stop. Jordan Henderson's average. Let's be real. Jordan average is average. He's average. And if he had beat us in that derby, I couldn't go out my house again. I don't think I could do it ever again. Divock Origi was horrifying. When Divock Origi scored past Jordan Pickford, that broke my heart. And if that had happened again, I couldn't have done it. I just couldn't have done it. Do you mean that would be another time?
The good times will come, Cal. Trust me, they will.
I hope they do. Because I think. See, the problem is what I've known from Everton is we're crap. But part of me thinks that we can improve. So I mean, part of me thinks we can get better. And what I've seen so far, we look as if we're on the up. Everything's on the up. Transfers on the up. The fan base are positive. We've got one of the best managers in the world. I think he's the best. Do you know what I mean? We've got so everything's going in the right direction. We just need to build off that. We can't now. The problem is, if we build ourselves that expectation of top 4 by Christmas, we have to live with it. We can't lower our performances. Leicester did that. Leicester were above you. You know what I mean? And look where they finished 5th. We can't have that happen. If we get to December and we're in the top 4, we have to stay there. And I know I said I'm having a Europa League. That's because I think we will fall off. I think we'll have a couple of bad games coming up now. You know, we've got Leeds in a few weeks. Well, I think we'll beat us. Southampton might beat us. But if we get through these teams, top 4 by Christmas, we have to stay there. We can't slip off and finish 6th or 7th. It's just not. You can't do it.
Maybe the last game of the season will be a championship decider, Cal.
Nah, I think we'll have it. I think we'll have it won by then.
You lot made me laugh. Right. I think we'll call that a day, shall we?
Okay, mate.
Even though it has been an absolute enthralling conversation for an hour and 15 minutes, it really, really has. And I've got to say, big thank you to Cal for coming on, who is actually, and a big thank you as well, Cal, for all your contributions in the comments. I know you like to wind a few people up.
You especially.
And a few people have fallen for it, you know. But everyone thinks me and you hate each other when we just sit bantering each other for 20 minutes and no one ever realises we're joking.
Yeah, I think people think that Tom Davis is better than Kevin De Bruyne. I think people actually think that's a thing.
Guys, Carl is telling you now, he's winding you all up and you all fall for it. Quite.
Like when I said Niassi was better than Aguero, and people believe it.
Yeah, what can I say? Got to say, big thank you though, Cal. You've been an absolute top guest.
Yeah,
and I wish you all the very best for the rest of the season. As long as you finish below us, I am not. That's bothered. But I hope you have a good season, all in all. And James Rodriguez has started very well.
He's the greatest footballer of all time.
He's not KDB though, mate. Calm down.
I know.
Let's have a look. Yeah, Kex on here. What are the fan base? Could have an Evertonian on their channel. We are so cool. Well done, boys. Yeah, we are. Like Andy's always said to you, we invite every fan of every other team on here, as long as you are sensible, as long as you don't mind a bit of banter, as long as you're not an idiot, you're more than welcome on. So that rules out Chris for the next few weeks then. Man, Cal, thank you. Thanks, Cal. Come back soon. He's in the comments every single day, guys. Have a chat with him. Do you want to tell them all your names so they know who it is?
Do you mean go say my name?
No, because you don't always come under as Cal Blundell, do you?
Yeah.
It does most of the time.
It's either Cal Blundell, Digne is sexy, Chris Fan TV, or James Rodriguez is God.
Hang on a minute. He's just said to me, I'm always under as Cal Blundell, and you just rolled off 4 other names.
No, but most of the time, when I'm not trying to wind you up, I'm me. But when I'm
a lot of sense. Have a good season up the Toffees. Andy's, we have everyone on Kex as long as they like banter are welcome. Top chat, Cal, but take them nets down. Have a good evening, fellas. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. Much appreciated. David Salimon thinks it's funny. Guys, big thank you. Please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. You are all superstars. Thank you to all of you in the comments. Thank you to Alan for your super chat. It was much appreciated. But big thank you to Cal Blundell for coming on. Big thank you to Gloom up in the corner. Now we've finally got his camera.
Yeah, cheers, Cal, for coming on, mate. Brilliant. I knew you'd be a great guest.
Next week, we might have an absolute blinder. We are trying to sort something out.
I don't know. I'm coming back on.
Tune in next week. You will want to be here. You will not want to miss next week. We'll steal Digne off you in the summer. I'm hoping January, mate. Hello, lad. Oh, he's on.
We'll have the title by then, so I don't think he would.
Thanks, Carl. Fire, says Andy. No, I'm not coming on. Oh, God. Footballing expert, Mr. King, Mr. Know-it-all of football, the football guru, the daddy of football. Thank God he's not coming on. Guys, I will see you now on Wednesday for the watch-along between Manchester City and Porto. Come and join me. I think it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, so we'll be We will get going at around about 20 to 8 on Wednesday evening with a watch along, as well as a post-match reaction to the game as well. Andy will be back with you Monday or Tuesday. I'm sure he'll let you know. But just make sure your notifications are set to public and not private. And also go back and watch the individual video. It was on at the introduction at the start of this live vlog, and every live vlog at the moment, all about Ransom books and all these fabulous books that help with reading. Please go over and get in touch with Daisy and get yourself a book. They are amazing. Football Expert is not coming on next week. Simple as. I'm mcfcfantv, pal. Going to cut my toenails. Thank you for that, mate. Your gardening shots today were amazing on Twitter, mate. Enjoy, Ivar. Yeah. But yes, thank you all. Go out and check the post.
Come on, mate. I need a piss.
Should I just keep him here for a while? Carl, I've got another question for you, mate. Before you want to go. Guys, have a great evening. Have a great start of your week. I'll see you during the week. And Andy might see you Monday or Tuesday. But as always, up the Blues. Take care.